Well, good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Tom Miller. I'm with the Cleveland Clinic, but I'm here today as a representative from the Ohio Distance Learning Association. I'm one of the members of the Professional Development Committee, and we're here today to welcome Tammy from CILC, and she's going to be talking about engaging content and virtual experiences. This is focused on high school. But CILC has great content across all the grade levels. So if you're interested, actually, you guys even have senior stuff, if I remember correctly. So if you know somebody who's interested in engaging online content, experiences, distance learning, connected learning, virtual learning, whatever you want to call it, Tammy's going to tell you all about it today. And just so you know, if you're not Ohio Distance Learning Association member, we do have an associate position that you can be free basically and get information about the Ohio Distance Learning Association. Ohio Distance Learning Association is here to promote distance learning across Ohio. We have some phenomenal partners that provide content. We have ITC and ESC leaders that are involved with our program, basically promoting distance learning across Ohio. We even have content that you can do daily classes. So I just saw recently they're promoting our next opportunities for French, Chinese, Spanish, and those would be classes that are, daily scheduled period classes in a school, but there's teachers that have extra flexibility. And so if you have students that are interested in getting involved in those, you can actually work through the Ohio Distance Learning Association to get access to those courses. I'm going to turn this over to Tammy. We're really excited to have her here today talking about virtual experiences, engaging content, which is a big issue for everybody, obviously, with our hybrid and interest learning environments now with students at home. Anything that we can do to get students engaged is a good thing. So I'm going to hand it over. Thank you for being here again today, Tammy. Tammy was here yesterday, a little bit earlier, or a little bit later, actually, doing elementary and middle school, but now I get to focus on high school. So thanks again, and I'll stop sharing. You can take it away, Tammy.
Well, thank you, Tom, for that wonderful introduction. Like Tom mentioned, my name is Tammy Maureen. I'm with the Center for Interactive Learning and Collaboration. And my job at CILC is to provide help to our content providers, which are organizations from around the world. We have nearly 200 of them that provide interactive virtual field trips. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, before I became an employee at CILC, I myself was a teacher in a preschool setting. So I did that for a couple of years. And then before that, I was an educator, an informal educator in a museum setting for several years. I worked for the Minnesota Historical Society and helped develop their interactive virtual learning program, our distance learning program. So I have both the great opportunity of being a provider of distance learning and also a consumer of distance learning. So today we're going to go ahead and just talk about the CILC website and what we have to offer for distance learning and interactive virtual field trips. I went and put the link to our website in the chat. Please, throughout our time together, use that chat if you have any questions for me at any time, and I'll be more than happy to pop them up or to answer them right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now with all of you. And then we'll go through the CILC website and talk about how to get started. So up on the screen, you'll see the CILC website. At the very top of the page, you're going to see in a big purple button, join now, it's free. I'm already a member and logged in, so mine looks slightly different, but right here is you're going to see where that join now is. I encourage you all to go ahead and click that button and fill out the information for becoming a member. Membership on the CILC website is absolutely free. So it takes about 45 seconds to about 1 minute for you to fill that information out. And at the bottom of your membership registration or application, as you're filling that in, there is a section where it asks you to check off disciplinary topics or areas in which you are interested in. I would encourage you as a high school educator or someone who works with high school educators to check those boxes. A great thing about those is what it does is it narrows down the CILC newsletter to fit your needs. And CILC sends out a newsletter one time a week. It goes out every Sunday, and gives you highlights of everything brand new that has come out in the last week for interactive virtual field trips. The reason you want to narrow it down is because there are a lot of opportunities that hit the website every week. And what that little checkboxes does is figure out which programs you're interested in. And I know working with high school educators that you probably don't want to see programs that are geared toward the K-5 realm. And you probably are very limited on the subject matters that you are interested in teaching. For instance, if you are a science teacher in high school, you may not want to necessarily look at programs that are about art or history. You're geared more toward finding those programs that fit the different topics that you're teaching on a daily basis. That newsletter gives you the opportunity to check those boxes and get the programs straight to you based on your teaching that you're interested in. So once you have a membership on the CILC website, I want to talk about how to find programs that we have here. And CILC, as you can see, is broken up into two areas, that interactive learning and that collaboration part. So let's talk about our interactive learning, those virtual field trips. So if we click on this link right here, it'll drop down and show you some opportunities we have. I want to highlight two opportunities in which you can find programming at a set date and time and sign yourself and your students up or have them sign up for programming that is absolutely free of charge. So one of them is to go to Interactive Learning Digital Learning Festival. And CILC is celebrating Digital Learning Day, which is February 23rd, with an all-day festival in which programming is free starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as you can see, there are some programs here that are geared toward the younger ages, but there are also a variety of programs that are geared toward all ages. So definitely check this out and look at the programs that you see right here. It's a great way to kind of see what is out there. These programs are absolutely free. They're in a webinar style format, which means that we will not hear or see your students, but your students will be able to interact with us via chat. It is done through WebEx. So one of the things to keep in mind is that if you are an educator that is in the classroom with your students, no worries, you just click on the link and you share it on your screen in the physical classroom. If you have your students all virtually, there's a couple of ways to go about connecting them. One way is you register for the event, you send them out the link that you receive as confirmation of that registration and say, dear students, you're going to take this virtual field trip on date and time. And when you click on the link, you're going to enter my first name, my last name, and my email address. And here's the information what you need to know. The second option is for them to register on their own for the event and get their own registration. Or the third option, this is an option we're seeing many of our teachers start taking, is that they will register for the event, they will click on the event, and they will share their screen to their virtual classroom while the presentation is going on. And that way, they may be connected in two virtual rooms at the same time, but the students are all with them. They get to help filter the questions that the students have. They're typing in the answers for the students, and they get to kind of have a discussion, just like if you were physically in the classroom still with them, asking them to write things down and partaking in that. So you'll see a variety of topics. One of the ones I highly suggest, even though it is after school, but these will be recorded or available for you to watch, is there is a program from Earth Echo International that is geared toward those higher grades. So definitely look at the ones that are geared toward all ages and a variety of topics. So that is one place to consider. Digital Learning Festival on February 23. If you can't make it to February 23, we do have programs every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that are absolutely free of charge during our Community of Learning. So if you go to that Interactive Learning, click on Community of Learning, you'll see as you scroll down all of the programs that we currently have available. And it's going to tell you the grade level it is targeted toward. There are some that are targeted toward the younger grades. There are some that are targeted to our older grade levels. So definitely go ahead and click on through those and see where they are. They are done with WebEx, so it is the same kind of format as our digital learning day with getting your students connected, but these are free of charge. We also do have the opportunity with all these programs that are out there for you to go ahead and click on our link to our YouTube channel, and you will find most of the programs, I would say 90% of the programs, are recorded and available to you for up to 1 month on our YouTube channel. That I always think is a great way for you to make sure that anyone that was not in class that day is able to view the virtual field trip. If you can make the exact time of the virtual field trip, because I know in high school, the bell is kind of the god. So you have to change classes every so often, and 1 p.m. doesn't work for everyone. So you can watch the recording of the event later on with your students, or use parts or segments of it to help illustrate your teaching. So it's a great way to kind of take advantage of it. I also encourage you, since it's on YouTube, students love YouTube, you can always send it to them to watch and analyze it and use it in a classroom later on to bring that discussion as part of it. So definitely take advantage of those. Another one I want you to look into is CILC has kind of taken some of our programming for upcoming months in which we do celebrations, such as Black History Month, Women's History Month, and Earth Day are coming up in these next couple of months. And in the chat, I went and put a link, and I'm also gonna put that up on our screen here. A link to a marketing publicity press release that we did the last couple of days. And in this press release, we're highlighting some of the programs that help celebrate the next couple of months. So as you can see right here, you'll see programs for Black History Month that are currently available on the CILC website. So we have some programs from Ohio History Connection in Columbus, so you go connect to them. You can also go to the National World War II Museum for Double Victory, African Americans in World War II. They do some excellent programming for those high school students in the social studies realm. So definitely think about them for their programs. African American artists are free from the Smithsonian American Art Museum. They're a federal organization, so definitely check them out. Then we also have the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. It's Not Black or White, How a Museum Defines Race is also available. Another great content provider in your state. And then the African American Trailblazers, that is also free from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, also in your state. I have to say these are the top 5 programs that you'll see on the CILC website that are being booked a lot during that particular time frame. So definitely look into what they have to offer. All those that you see listed are available for the upper grade levels right there. And then you'll see we have some opportunities for you when it comes to President's Day, Women's History Month, and Earth Day are out there too. So definitely look into those particular options. I have to say Women's History Dirt on Their Skirts with the National Baseball Hall of Fame is also a great one. Bruce, who is the presenter for the National Baseball Hall of Fame, will go in depth and answer your questions as much as you want to with your students. He is a great presenter that really challenges them to think outside the box, and he will go with the flow and kind of help you navigate those areas. What's also great about Bruce is he works at the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he has a baseball announcer's voice. So it just sounds very peaceful, and you feel like you're watching that baseball game with him kind of. So definitely check those out. And I put that link right away in the tab. Otherwise, when you get to the CILC website, you're probably wondering, where do I find that information, Tammy? You can go to the bottom of our website, and there's a little tab right there that says About Latest News. You click on that link, and you will see a link to that Earth Day, Women's History, President's Day, and Black History Month press release. So definitely check out and take advantage of those particular programs that are geared toward upcoming subjects. All these programs listed here are by request, which meaning you request the date and time that work for you and your students, and they will work with you. I also know that many of you are wondering, so if I teach history and I want to take this program 4 times throughout the day, am I going to have to request it 4 times? Yes. And you may wonder, well, what about the cost? Well, that's when I would, if you're worried about the cost, I would reach out to the content provider themselves and say, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you work with me? And many of them will work to make sure that they can reach your students. And also, like I said, there are some programs that are free, but definitely look into those opportunities. Well, that right there kind of highlights where to find programs that are at a set date and time on the CILC website that you can gear toward, or upcoming programs. What I would like to do is show you how to use our interactive database. So if you go under interactive learning again, you'll see the Find Programs tab. It is the exact same search bar that you'll see right here. And what you can do is go ahead and put in a topic of your choice. So if you do have a topic that you want me to look up, let me know. And you can go ahead and put that in the chat, and I'll search for a program on your behalf. Otherwise, you could do it on your own computer right now with me as your search, but I'm going to go ahead and put in a topic that I really like to talk about, and that is World War II. So if I go ahead and search that program, it is going to go through our database. We have over 2,000 interactive virtual field trips, like I said, and it will start showing the results down below. As you can see, there is a program right away here from the National World War II Museum. It's going to give you the name of the program, who is providing that program, a little snapshot of what the program is about, the target audience for this particular program, and then off to the side is some indicators that will tell you how this program is doing on the website. During every one of our programs, after it is done with, we send out an evaluation from our website that asks you as an educator to provide us at CILC and our content providers with feedback on how they are doing. During that evaluation, we ask the question, would you recommend this program to another CILC member? Yes or no? If you say yes, you help get this positive review down below here. That means you're giving them a thumbs up. If at least 75% of the evaluations that are filled out on the CILC website are getting that yes, that means they get the star, which is an exceptionally high rating for their programs. So if we look at this particular program, you will see that the little highlight little box up there comes up. It says recommended by 100% of participating educators that completed an evaluation. So right there is kind of an indication that this program is doing pretty good. Another thing to look for is over off to the side, at the end of our fiscal year, which kind of coincides with the school year at the end of June 30th, CILC takes all the evaluations for the entire year, averages them all out, and gives an award to our top content providers. It's called the Pinnacle Award. And that Pinnacle Award is given to content providers who are at the 95% or above in their score. So we're looking at an A here. Those that get that top score get that Pinnacle Award. And you can see that this particular content provider and a couple others as you go down are some of our top award-winning content providers. And that is looking at all their evaluations for the entire year. Of our 200 content providers, it can vary depending on the year how many receive that Pinnacle Award. It is a highly sought after award for them and is a way for them to market how great their programs are. CILC does nothing but tally of the results, announce the winners. So definitely look at that. When you get the search results, you'll see, like I said, this little bit of snapshot. If you're interested in a program, when you click on it, you will see the title of the program more. You'll see a bigger, long program description about this particular program. Off to the side, you'll see if a CILC program has received any value seals. So CILC about 1.5 years ago went through our organization and decided we needed to look at what we value in our distance learning programs. And we value programs that promote diversity, equity, and inclusivity. We also promote programs that meet the needs of lifelong learners. As Tom mentioned, not only do we do things for K through 12, but we also meet the needs of those 55 and plus. We look at programs that are global in perspective, and also they are authentic and relevant learning experiences. So you'll see that this particular program actually was given all 4 of those seals or values when it comes to their programming on the CILC website. Now, CILC did not determine those seals. We set up the guidelines or the programming for it. Those seals were actually given by the members themselves based on those evaluations. So once again, those evaluations play a huge role on how programming is awarded on our website. As you scroll down, you'll see the cost of the program, if there's one associated with it, some basic knowledge like you would see in the search. You'll also see information about the content provider, who to contact. If you have any questions about the program, such as, are you going to talk about the Women's Air Force Service pilots, the WASPs during World War II? You are more than welcome to reach out to Kate or whoever contact information is on that program flyer, and they will be able to answer your questions and definitely go more in depth with you to help with that. And then you'll also find with every particular program that you have on the CILC website, you'll find the format of the program, the objectives, and the standards in which they align for you as an educator. So definitely you're able to consume a lot of information in that little short blurb. If you are interested in taking the program and ready to go, don't worry, you don't have to have a credit card or payment ready to go at that time. Content providers will charge you directly and you will pay them directly. You can go ahead and click on Book It, and it'll go ahead and take you through a 4-step process of booking a program where you'll put in your name, your email address. You'll also just verify your particular billing address. Then you'll set your 3 dates and 3 times. You'll tell them how you'd like to connect with them in step 4. If it's over Zoom or Google or some other platform that your organization or school uses, and then you're able to submit, and you'll receive a confirmation email, and then the content provider will also get an email. I usually say, in this day and age with everyone being so busy, give them about 48 hours to reply. And if you don't hear anything from the CILC website, reach out to us and we'll gently remind them to follow up with their program requests. So that's one way to find programs on the CILC website. Another thing that I often hear from educators is, so that one had a cost, Tammy. Are there any free programs? And the answer is yes, there are free programs on the CILC website. So one of the things you'll want to do is, if you're ever interested in looking for free programs, is just go ahead and put the word free in, hit go. And what it does is it shows all the programs that are currently free on the CILC website. So you'll see that you'll find programs from Homestead National Historical Park. The Smithsonian American Art Museum is out there for their programming. You'll also find ones from Longwood Gardens, Rocky Mountain National Park, Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. There are a lot of programs out there that are free of charge. So when it comes to finding programs at a discount, I encourage you to kind of think of things in different realms or circles. The first thing to think about is looking at the federal level. All of us pay taxpayer money, and therefore that taxpayer money means that those programs have to be given to you for free. So like you saw when you looked at that free search, you saw a lot of national parks, you saw the Smithsonian. Those are organizations that have to provide it because you already paid for the programming with your taxpayer dollars. So think federal first. You'll see the Smithsonian Natural History Museum is out there. The Space Museum is also part of their program, the programming on CILC. The second thing to look in is content providers within your own state. A lot of times organizations within your own state provide programming at a discount for their state members. So you have in your wonderful state some top content providers out there. You'll want to go over to Cleveland, so you can go to the Cleveland Museum of Art, the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. You also have Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. You'll also see COSI Connects with COSI Columbus. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, like I said, is listed here on the CILC website, and along with Ohio History Connection. Those are just some of the Ohio content providers out there. I would encourage you to look at those, and often they do provide programming at a discount. I can't guarantee it for sure, but always reach out to them and see if they have that option for you. Another thing to do, like I said, is to look for some of those top content providers or ones that provide high school programming by looking at those Pinnacle Award winners. Now, I showed you how to find them when we did a search result. However, where do you find the list of all of them? And that is by going to content providers. Then you'll see the Pinnacle Award. And this particular page will show you the ones that have won the Pinnacle Award in the last year. You'll also see our congratulations to our Hall of Fame award winners. So the Pinnacle Award has been given out on CILC for the last 12 years. These content providers have received the award for the last 10 of those 12 years at least. So you'll find some wonderful programming from places like Molten Marine Laboratory. They are definitely science-based. They provide wonderful programming for high school students in which they can go in depth. They have programs on careers in marine biology. They will tailor it to your needs a little bit. They will definitely take it to the high school level with their programs. They have some on sharks, manatees, sea turtles, coral reef that they're using. Royal Botanical Gardens up in Canada provides programming. What's great about their particular programs is Kareen, their presenter, really asks in-depth questions to you as an educator about how you are using this in your classroom. Is this an introduction to the topic? Is this in the middle of the curriculum itself? Is this a cumulative at the very end and you're going to use it as assessment to see how much your students learned? She'll be able to tailor the program then to fit your needs a little bit better. Also, she takes the opportunity to really go in depth and research where you are compared to where she is located, and will often bring up particular items that are happening in your area that reflect the program. So one of the programs I really like talking about is she does have one on invasive species and biodiversity. And she will do research and discuss invasive species that are in your particular area that you can go out and look at your natural habitat and discuss those. The whole goal of the Royal Botanical Gardens is to have you look at your own environment and understand what is around you and how that affects your everyday life. So definitely check out their particular programming out there. Also, a lot of times, if you have a particular science field you're looking for that you think Kareen would be able to fit, if you reach out to her, she's often able to customize a program. Cleveland Museum of Art also does wonderful programming. I would encourage you to look at their programming at a high school level, especially if you are a language teacher or you're going to do some cultural studies. They do have the ability to have some of their programs done in Spanish, which is a great way that if you are a Spanish teacher to kind of test your students' language skills. So definitely look at their particular programs and how they are available. They have some of the top-notch ones out there. One of their best ones I always say is, this one is offered at a select time, but you can always check in with them. But DOD de los Muertes is a program that is highly sought after during the fall. Another content provider you'll see out there is the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. They make sure that all of their programs are interactive, the students are up and moving, or if they're not up and moving at the older grade levels, they are finding a way to fill out, to go along with the worksheet. They're analyzing questions. So they provide excellent programming for the older grade levels. Another one that I really enjoy, but depending on your stomach, the Adventures in Medicine and Science. This particular content provider provides programming with a human cadaver. So you are looking at the human heart. You can look at the brain and talk about what happens if there is a stroke. You can look at forensic autopsy, sports medicine. Ray, who does the programming, he is the one presenter out there, has an excellent way of reaching high school students, having them analyze, talk about it, go in depth. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to virtually connect to a human cadaver, something that is very hard for you to do if you were to physically take your students to a funeral home or have the ability to check in with the university. this is some way to bring it directly to you in the classroom at a date and time that works for you. They are one of the top content providers for that high school realm. I also suggest when looking at this particular one, a way to kind of take your students on, I find a very interactive and fun virtual field trip is Reef HQ. It allows you to go to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. So they do have a live diver that goes down into the ocean at that time. You can see the animals that are in the reef, and you get to talk directly to the diver and the person up on the shore to discuss what you are seeing and analyzing and looking at. So this is always a great course program to go in depth with. Along with the National World War II Museum, really is good at captivating those particular programs for the upper grade levels. I also always want to say that COSI Columbus has wonderful programming. They have knee surgeries available throughout the year. If you look at their programming, they're one to always look at, because I always say, how often can you see a knee surgery? So definitely check out their particular programming. A couple other ones that I would suggest looking at are Earth Echo International. They have programming in which they allow scientists to come into your classroom and discuss their careers or how they are changing the world. It's a great way for you to get that career in STEM information out there. One of my favorites for the high school level, I always think, is one of them called Physics Education. They're in Australia, and they're really all about their hands-on curriculum for science-based programming, but they also do have a program called Talk with an Aussie, Culture and History of Australia. And this is a really good way for you to kind of get a perspective on a different country. You just ask questions and have a great discussion of what is going on, different you know, how you view the world in different parts of the country, what the money is like, the geography, the culture, the food, indigenous history they go into. This one, Ben, or who's ever providing the programming, they take it where you want to go. So depending on your particular classroom, this can be used in a variety of ways. I really found this was a great way to introduce how government works with high school students. After you talk about, you know, how the United States government works, you can also talk about how it works under a prime minister. And also one of the things to mention is their relationship with the monarchy in England, which is kind of interesting when you think about how it's very different than how the United States views that there is no such thing as a monarchy. They'll also go into a perspective of talking about how, you know, the United States is viewed from their point of view. And they're very upfront and honest. They're not going to be on one side or the other and tell your students to think about, you know, you have to vote this way or that way, but they're just talking about how it is viewed in their country and portrayed. So you have an idea of what the outside world thinks about your the United States for those students. So I would highly recommend those programs. It's also interesting to talk to Australia right now when it talks about how you handle COVID-19 is also another big topic that sometimes comes up. A great one also to think about is our friends at Banyan Global Learning. They also have programming for the upper grades levels. Some of their programs most of their programs are developed in a way in which you're talking to the presenter live at the actual location. So for instance, if you do night markets of Taiwan, those presenters are in Taiwan, walking around on the streets, and they're going to a market for you to see what is all available there. They also have ones about cultural hotspots in Los Angeles. They'll do compare coastal habitats, where you get to talk to someone that is on the ocean over on the Pacific side and someone that's over on the Atlantic side and what it looks like. They also have programs. My favorite one is the Kiwi BirdLife Park, in which you get to go to New Zealand and really talk about the people that live there and also the birds, and just answer questions. They also have one on Brazil too. So they're a great one to kind of bring in and get that perspective of different areas. I'm going to go ahead and put into the chat some top ones to definitely check out. Besides the ones I listed, these are some of the top content providers that you'll find out there. You'll see I also listed the Holocaust Museum or the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center. That is a great opportunity for your students to bring in a Holocaust survivor or a family member of a Holocaust survivor and have them talk directly to that individual. The Cole Center for Dance and Performing Arts is a great way for you to bring in other cultures and have your students get up and moving around. Even if they're at home, they can still get up and try to dance it out. And you'll see, like I said, physics education, REAP HQ, the Cleveland Museum of Art, Natural History. Also, I can't ever forget to say that if you're really looking at careers, it's one of the big things that always comes up is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They do a program on careers in the NFL. It is their top program that they have to offer. That one, and like I said, is absolutely free of charge and talks about the variety of jobs that you can have in the NFL, including like the sports trainer to actually playing in football. What is the chance of you making it to professional sports? How you do advertising, marketing, social media that they have and such. We also talk about how people work in the non-for-profit realm with their NFL stars and how they're able to show off those. So definitely look at those particular programs. I also not only want to highlight the interactive virtual field trips, but also I want to show you our collaboration center. And so our collaboration center is an opportunity for your students to connect to another group of students to have a discussion. You can be partners throughout the whole year, or you can do a one-time connection. So you'll see with our collaborations, we're dividing them up into 3 areas. One-to-one collaboration allows you to that one-time or ongoing connection. You can search for them there. You'll see a variety of topics of which people want to connect or older grade levels and which they are looking for. So definitely look into those that are out there. You will also find we have scheduled events on which at a set date and time, your students and several other students can meet a speaker and interact with them together at the same time. And then we do have a matchup event in which your students are going to be paired with another set of students around a particular theme. And one of those that is out there that we just announced, and this one is geared toward all levels. Often people think that Read Around the Planet is geared for the K-5 or the younger grade levels. And it does work really great for that elementary school. They have a reading thing. But what I would encourage you to do with this particular program and to think about it and how your students can be creative is there are often high school students that are using it as a language program in which they are learning Spanish or French, or they're learning another language, and they will get paired up with a younger group of students, such as a kindergarten or first grade classroom, and it will be the older students teaching the younger students about something to read. It's a great way to kind of do that multi-generational connection of some sort, stretching it out. I also have to say that if you have a Spanish class, we will try to connect you with a Spanish speaking school in the elementary, and you'll be surprised at how well those students learn from each other and are able to communicate and test each other out. Often the Spanish speaking and first languages are trying to connect their students to English first language speakers and helping those students learn it. And your Spanish speaking high school students who are learning that language can be connected to first speakers. It kind of tests things out and writes short stories. So definitely take advantage and look into that collaboration center. But at this time, I know I threw out a lot of information for you. I am more than happy to answer any questions or share anything on the screen that I haven't answered yet. I did put, like I said, a list of those items in the chat. You'll see the link to the CILC website. Membership is absolutely free. A link to those upcoming programs that are geared to our particular subject matters. I'm also going to put a link to the Digital Learning Festival and a link to the Community of Learning Those opportunities that are absolutely free on the CILC website for you to check out. And then on the Community of Learning page, you'll also see the link to the YouTube channel for you to look at. So take advantage of those. I know Tom will mention that there's going to be a recording of this. I'm also going to put in the chat my email address. I am more than happy to answer any questions you have about the CILC website, how to get started, how to help other teachers find the programming. And I'm also more than happy to help you find programs of some sort. I know a lot of times teachers go on the website, they're like, I don't know exactly how to get my search started, or I'm looking for this kind of program. Tammy, can you help me out? And I'm more than happy to put you in the direction of a correct content provider. The great thing about my job is my job is to learn all 200 content providers in the wonderful programs that they have to offer. So I know their programs in depth and will be able to provide you in the direction of someone who could provide those programs, or at least help you get connected to someone who may be able to tailor a program to fit your needs. So definitely reach out if you have any questions. But at this time, I'm going to hand it on back to Tom. I'm sure we're going to do some summary of some sort, and I will be able to answer any questions if there is any.
Thank you, Tammy. That was wonderful. And yeah, what we do appreciate any questions that the participants have that they can either enter in the chat, or if you want to contact Tammy afterwards, I'm sure she's absolutely willing to answer your questions via email. This session was recorded, so we will be posting it up on our Ohio Distance Learning Association YouTube channel. And that is something that has all of our professional development hosted there. And if you saw something today that you just want to go back and look at, or if you'd like to share it with your colleagues, obviously word of mouth is really important to us in terms of value and all the wonderful information that we shared today. So I'm going to put the Distance Learning Association's YouTube channel up in the chat there. So there's another link for you. And we appreciate Tammy's time telling us about CILC's programs, the wonderful content that's all across the country. I wish I had a time capsule I could go back in time and go back to my middle school classroom and tap into all those things, because none of them were available when I was in the classroom. We do appreciate everybody's time today. If you're interested in becoming Ohio Distance Learning Association Associate, just visit our website. There's a form. It's 2 minutes, your name, your school, and boom, you're a member. And then you get all of our information. So again, thank you for your time today. Thank you again, Tammy, for all your time. And have a great, it's not the weekend yet. Sorry. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tom. Have a great day too, everyone.